Two homes for sale, one budget, St. Petersburg, Florida. Welcome to Buy This, Not That. Let's meet our home buyer for today. He's a sweat equity guy. He's not afraid to do a little bit of work. He's got a max budget of 400 grand. He's got 100 grand in cash for renovations. Location, anywhere in Pinellas is fine as long as it's not a flood zone. A minimum of a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,200 plus square feet. This guy's goal is to live in the house, do some renovations, get it ready, sell it in 2 to 5 years, maybe rent it if the numbers work. So we're not going to be looking at renovated houses. He hates that. He wants outdated kitchens. He wants bad curb appeal. He wants sort of diamond in the rough. That stuff is out there. So let's get into it. The first house is going to be in sort of the Leelman section of St. Petersburg. If you're not familiar with where that is, it is on the, it's north of downtown. And let me just zoom out here so you can get a better feel for where we are. Here's downtown. Obviously, all the beaches are over here. And we're heading north this way. So it's about a 10 or 15 minute ride to downtown. You can go 4th Street, piece of cake there, jump on the interstate, get off. The stadium is right there. So pretty good location. This is a non-flood zone area. So let's take a look at the pricing action on this one. It has been on the market for a few months here since last September. Actually, it went on the market at $425, and that was $294 a square foot. And it sold, and this is what we're seeing a lot of, and see sellers in this situation. But this person bought this house in 2023 for $430. They went on the market smartly, understanding that they were not going to get that money back. You know, I've seen a lot of people that are, if they bought at $430, they're trying to break even. So they're pricing at $460, $465 or something, account for real estate commissions, closing costs, and all that. And they're like, if I can just get out and break even. I mean, that's just not how the market works. I think as buyers, you know that's not how the market works. We do not care what the seller paid for the house. We are in a different situation now. This was the tail end of that post-pandemic boom. So this person has accepted the fact that they're going to lose money on this house. So they went from $430. They had price change, and now they're down to $399, which is $276 a square foot. So we're getting in sort of the reasonable range there. And let's take a buzz through the pictures to see. Now remember, this buyer is looking for something that they can put some money into over the next couple of years. And, you know, honestly, we're already kind of, at the max budget, and we just need to see if there's enough work that needs to be done in here to make it worthwhile. Now, these are virtually staged pictures. So you can see beautiful hardwood floors, nice open living area. You can see how it would look, which is, it's kind of nice already. The bones of this house anyway are pretty nice. So big living area. And this is what we really want. This is what we want. I mean, this sort of Lumadome situation up here, it was kind of cool in the 80s, but, nobody likes it anymore. But it does give you a higher ceiling. So obviously you can get rid of all that. You can get rid of this sort of brass and white ceiling fan. And, these cabinets there's nothing wrong with them. They look, the doors, I always look to see if the doors look straight and they're hanging straight. And they are. And you probably could reface them. But, this sort of, style of door is a little bit outdated. It's not going to appeal to most buyers. Most buyers want that sort of shaker cabinet look, sort of old backsplash. These look like solid surface countertops, but again, probably pretty old white appliances. So, this kitchen is a complete gut. The tile as well, this sort of beige tile, this grout could be just dirty or it could be black, but, again, this is not what buyers are looking for. And this is exactly why my client wants to look at these houses, because he knows that there's not going to be a line out the door to see a house with an old kitchen. So good size, the bedrooms are going to be a little bit on the small side. They did a nice job with virtual staging, so you can really get a feel for what it would look like. And those hardwood floors look fantastic. And this is terrible. I mean, this is, again, most people are going to come in and they're going to look at this, tiny little vanity, even though this is a second. The shower, I mean, I always try to count the tiles here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I bet this is not 3 feet across, really, because these are only 6-inch tiles. I mean, maybe I'm miscounting here, but this looks like you could barely fit in there. And you can even see the tile job. They're just odd right here. You see, like, look, little tiny piece, little tiny piece. The whole thing needs to be gutted. I don't think there's any argument there. And then, I'd say most people, I'm not just saying women, men too, this is just going to offend their sensibility. A corner toilet, it's all they could do there. So this whole bathroom needs to be gutted and redone. Again, you can see the rooms are decent size. This bathroom looks pretty good. I mean, I would argue, a little bit less of this tile would have been better. It's a lot of sort of that beige look. So, and then of course, this is just, sort of a Home Depot style vanity. That's going to need to go. So you can see there's a lot here that you could do. And when they virtually stage it, you can kind of get a real feel for how nice it would be. Now, this is one of the other things I love about this house. Look at the size of this backyard. So we get some more pictures here. It's got a little bit of landscaping. This is, parts of St. Pete have these very deep 120-foot deep lots. So, if you wanted, and this would be something, it would be quite an investment. You could go a big master suite off of the back of this house and turn it into a 2,100 square foot house. Now, I don't know if you're picking this up right away. What is this, right? It certainly doesn't look like a house. So this concerns me a little bit. And I know because of the address, 57th Avenue. 54th is a major road, and 21st Street, I know this intersection. So we're going to see in just a second. We'll just go to the street view now. So the street view, you can see everything looks perfectly fine. The houses are all similar size, which is what you're looking for. Or, ideally you want the biggest or the worst house in the best neighborhood, but this house fits in perfectly with the neighborhood. So I think we're going to go this way, and you'll see what I'm saying in a second. So this is 22nd Street, and as we're heading west now. This is, kind of a little bit of, I don't want to say a red flag, but they don't put Cracker Barrels in neighborhoods. They don't tuck them into neighborhoods. They put them next to interstates, right? So I'm just going to keep going up here so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Downtown would be this way, and then Tampa and the airport and all that stuff would be this way. So it could be a pretty good location. It's just a matter of whether or not it's a little bit too close to this interstate. And I'm not sure, to be honest with you. So on this one, the roof is only 7 years old. We don't know a lot about the rest of the house. We know it's in a non-flood. We don't know the AC. So we know the roof is 7 years old. The interior looks pretty good to me. The exterior looks also pretty good to me. Drop a comment. Let me know if you had $100,000 for a reno over the next couple of years, would this be something that you would consider? So this is house number 1. Now let's jump over to house number 2. All right, now let's take a look at house number 2. This one is $350. It's almost identical in size to the other house. It's 1,440 square feet. And a 3.2, which is, right smack in the middle of what most people are looking for. And we're priced at $243 a square foot, which on the surface looks pretty good to me. The situation on this one is, and we're going to check out the price action, and it's not going to show us much because the reality is on this one, as you can see here, it's only showing for rent over the last couple of years. But it did actually get sold in 2022 for $270,000. And now they are looking to get $350. Now, this is a little bit of a red flag for me already because it doesn't look like anything's been done to this house. And I'm not immediately seeing why we should be seeing a higher price from 2022 to now. $243 a square foot. If you watch any of my other videos, you've seen perfectly good move-in ready houses at $243 a square foot. This one is also in Lealman, just to give you an idea. So this is the house we're looking at now, and the last house we looked at. So it's kind of on the either side of Lealman. So location arguably is pretty much the same. So let's just take a look at the pictures. The exterior looks okay to me, but this is where some money would go. You know, you would get some sort of front porch on here, some sort of overhang. This really drives me a little bit nuts. I don't know why a house would be designed where the front door, I mean, this looks like the back of the house, let's be honest with you. We need something, could be here that sticks out, or it could be, you know, extended through the whole house and get something out here. So you got a little bit of a front porch. You got a little bit of a carport over here, and it looks like they're using this for parking over here as well. So curb appeal, this is a dusk shot. This is about as good as this house is going to look. And then you look at it during the day, and what does it tell you? It looks, to me, it looks like a rental, to be honest with you. And that's all it's been for the last few years. So inside, you got a nice open, I mean, it's pretty open, but the kitchen is a total gut job, obviously. There's a new stove. There's a new stove here, newer fridge, but, you know, these cabinets are old. These are Formica countertops. Everything's got to go in here. You know, obviously, the first thing that any renovator or flipper would do is to see if this wall is load bearing. I don't know if it is. There looks like some sort of beam up here. So maybe it's not. Even if it was and you had to do posts here, you know, all of this would have to go, as far as I'm concerned, to really open this up. It's just, this doesn't make any sense as a layout to me. Doesn't make any sense. You're not putting stool, it's, you know. So all of this goes, maybe the counter goes here, or maybe if this is gone, you just have a nice big slab of granite right here. I'm seeing if this is not a load-bearing wall. So, you know, this is 1,440 square feet. So it's got a decent size to it. It's got some, you know, the feature here with these vaulted ceilings is nice. A lot of these older houses have lower ceilings, so that's nice. But, you know, I'm seeing older windows in here. You know, architecturally, this could be something. You could make this something. Now, it looks like somebody did a little bit of a improvement here. This tile is terrible. These look like laminate floors. I don't know what the quality is. You know, those doors are newer. You know, the bathroom's a total gut. You know, look at this. We've got mismatched windows. You can see the aluminum frame here. And then it's aluminum frame too, but the darker frame. So two different types of windows. I mean, this house needs a lot. And you can't, you know, a decent sized yard. Obviously, you're going to need a new privacy fence back there. You know, this shed here, such as it is, probably maybe salvageable. This thing's probably rusted through, so that's got to go. I mean, drop a comment. Do you think you could, with $100,000, turn this into something? It's, you know, it's hard to imagine, but if they put something on the front of this, change the elevation of this house, possibly. I just don't know. I really don't know. So the issue on this one, so let's go through the two houses. No flood zone, 7-year-old roof, full one-car garage, 1,448 square feet for $276 a square foot. So the only real downside I see here, and the only way to know is to go out and see the house, is that it is pretty close to 275, that 54th Avenue exit and entrance. So I don't know if you're getting a lot of road noise there, but architecturally, I think this house is fantastic. I think these houses in St. Pete are winners. They're block houses, usually built in the 50s, give or take. I mean, it looks super clean outside. I don't think they're asking a crazy amount. I think that the opportunity for this house is too nice for an investor, clearly. This is not a short-term flip here. I mean, you're not going to make any money just going in and doing the kitchen. Floors look great. The house is painted. You could do the windows, arguably, but there's no money to be made just doing the kitchen. So this is a longer-term investment. And I think that most regular retail buyers who are looking for a move-in ready house are going to see this kitchen and they're going to be like, no, it's not good enough. So I don't love the price. I love the price at $250 a square foot, which would put us at $362. I don't know if they're going to get there, but you know, would you take this house at $362? I think, and then put in $75, you're still at $450. I don't know. This is a difficult one. Let's just bounce back over to if we're picking between two, let's bounce over to the other house just to see, because I just have a feeling that the other house is going to look even worse at this point. So this one is 1,440 square feet, so it's $50,000 less already. You know, it's in a non-flood zone. I don't think any regular buyer's going to look at this house at all. That's just my honest opinion. I don't see anybody with $350 to spend going in and saying, I accept this as it is. I could be wrong. This house has been on the market. What now? Let's see. It's been on the market just 51 days, so maybe it's a little bit too early to tell. But this one looks like a total reno. It's been owned by investors for a couple of years, so I don't think there's a market for this for a regular buyer. I'm not sure there's a market for a flipper at $243 a square foot, which is why people who are looking to buy and do some sweat equity should be looking at these kind of houses. I like it at $200 a square foot. I would make a recommendation at that, assuming some of the systems were still in pretty good shape. So that would put it at $280, which is about what they paid for it 3 years ago. With $100 grand in, fix up that front, you might have something there. But I still think for my client who wants to be able to move in and slowly do some work, I don't think there's any question that this house in the 360, 365 range would be a winner. Drop a comment. Let me know what you think. My name is Steve Reynolds. I'm a realtor here in St. Petersburg, Florida. If you're looking to buy or sell, shoot me a text, give me a call, send me an email. I would love to help you out. This has been Buy This, Not That, and I will see you next time.